All right.
There you go. We're live. Okay. Hello and welcome to this session on manifesting your life vision with law of attraction. Now, we're four speakers, so we're gonna definitely take some time to introduce ourselves, what we're about, what we do, why we want to share this message, and then of course the intention of this call. I consider that to be very important so that we can keep that focus. And we really are condensing knowledge from, me, myself alone. I wrote that we combined have over 1,000 hours listening to law of attraction, especially from Abraham Hicks. And I think I alone have more than that, just learning about it, applying it. And we're squeezing that into this short hour, just the most essential nuggets of gold that we learned in applying these principles and helping you to also use it in your own life to create the kind of results you want. And we're going to take one bit from the life vision that we want to apply these principles to, but also find a pain spot that might be holding you guys back that we can also apply these principles to. So let's do a little share about who we are first, and then I can jump into the PowerPoint after that. I can say a few words about myself. My name is William. I live in Northern Norway. I teach in youth school, and I also do coaching, aware coaching. It's about raising your level of awareness, mainly to alleviate pain spots and to give you the tools and techniques to manifest an extraordinary life for yourself, whatever that is for you. Now, it's really beautiful here. Now it's sunny. We have the midnight sun. So I love being out in the summer with my mountain bike or hiking, climbing mountains. And also in winter, I almost hit 60 trips this winter with my splitboard. So just staying really active, doing really good in the health and fitness category, and really into personal development. So yeah, why don't Eric, you can do next.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Eric Ferguson. Quick background. I played college and professional baseball and have been working on the law of attraction and manifesting my entire life. Since I was like 9, I knew what I wanted to do, and I used the law of attraction, the secret, to accomplish some of that, a lot of that. Now I am loving coaching, teaching other people. I have a podcast called the Full Potential Living Podcast. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify, it's on Google Podcasts, just about every podcast platform. But it's all about helping others live their full potential life that's unique to them, whatever that is, and tips and strategies and tools to do that. I currently work in solar energy and renewable energy as well, in sales, and also working on becoming a full-time life coach in my future. I want to write some books and be a speaker as well. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, I can go. Hi, everyone. I'm Claudia. Thank you so much for joining us today. So I am the marketing director for my family and I's business, Wellness Origin. So we're a spa and wellness center in Carmel, Indiana. We just launched a new skincare line, fragrance collection here, and we do supplements. We do like facials, and my mission with the business is to help people bring our health and beauty to from where we are to the next level. So this is a business that my family and I have built from scratch, and it's what I've been involved with. It's been a lot of manifestation along with like aligned action over the last few years. And now I'm launching my music career. I've shared with you all a little bit about, starting that from scratch as well, and using the power of manifestation to get to where I'm at right now. I just launched my first international music project with a famous singer, my dream mentor, Tony T. So I'm going to share more about that on the call. So that's a little bit about me, and you can see through the things I'm involved with that I'm really passionate about, just sharing uplifting music with the world and helping people to evolve our health to our next level and to truly live life to the fullest. And that's what I'm using manifestation for.
Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, I'm Christine. I'm the spiritual champion for our Lifebook community. And my healing transformation journey started 10 years ago. And since that, I am so deeply grateful for all the manifestations that happened to me and in my life. It was like stepping in the river of life and go with the flow, and parallel to that, all the things really happened for me in this physical reality that I dreamed of for so long. And for me, it was the most amazing journey I could ever dream about. And I really live for making that possible for other people. So I'm a life coach, I'm also a life book leader, and I'm a rapid transformation therapist. So I work with the subconscious mind, because all of the things we are thinking about and we are feeling are rooted in our subconscious mind. And when we start to work with vibration, it's so important to use the power of our subconscious to really get aligned with everything that we want to experience in this 3D reality, because we live in the field of unlimited potential, and we can use that when we clear out the blockages. Then it's like just flowing to us. And it's the most amazing thing for me to help people get there where they want to be. So I started my own business 2 years ago, and I'm the leader or the CEO of Inner Light. That's my personal growth company, and I just love to do that work because I see what is possible for every single soul on this planet, and a lot of people have no idea what potential they have. So welcome to this call, and I'm really looking forward to share all our different kind of knowledge and wisdom in this field to help you go where you want to go.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And it's so good to have you on to bring your perspectives and your understanding of these principles. That way we can tackle it from different angles, because like I said, it's a big subject and you can talk a lot about this. So you can definitely dive deep into this, but you can definitely learn a lot in 1 hour. So we're going to focus on giving you the most amount of value in this hour so that you will have some action steps to take from this session. Now, to begin off, I want to engage you a bit in setting the intention for this call, because it's going to be 2 parts. One part is about understanding the principles of law of attraction. And the second part is using them to manifest your life vision. Now, you can use it on a specific part of your life vision or just some parts, just anything you would like to manifest. Now, first off, what we would like you to write in the chat. Now, you don't have to write it, but I really care about authenticity, and I think it's really good if we can be authentic with each other. This is a community where we're not judging anyone. So the first part is about a pain spot that's holding you back. Now, we're not going to stay there for long because we're going to teach you about momentum. So we're not going to stay there for long, but try to go a bit deep. Find an answer that isn't just on the surface, but peeling away some of those layers to get to more of the core of what is holding you back. A pain spot that stops you from manifesting what's most important to you. Now, if you want to share it in the chat, that's awesome. That's great. That way that will help us also with what we will focus on saying during this call and make it more personalized to you. So take some moments to think about that, something that's holding you back from manifesting what you want. And then once you have it, you can just shake it off a bit, do a little shake off. And from there, think about one thing, maybe one thing in particular in your life vision that you would really like to manifest. Something you want to bring into your reality. Something that sticks out. maybe something you're working on right now, just something you want to bring into your experience. Think about what that would be. Maybe you want to write it down. You could just keep it in your mind even as we go throughout this session. And as you think about that, I'm going to start sharing my screen because we have this presentation.
Hey, William, I think we should have everybody put their pain point in the chat right now.
Yeah, could you write it in the chat if you came up with something?
Yeah, feel free to write that in the chat, guys. Something holding you back, pain point from manifesting.
Yeah, got it. Just take a moment to verbalize it and put it down. I can share for myself. For me, it's a lot about feeling worthy of bringing it into my experience. Yeah, fear of failure, like fear it will manifest actually. Yeah, that's a good one. And this is, didn't we mention, Eric, me and you on the last call we had, the quote from Marianne Williamson that, or maybe it was the podcast, but the quote is, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
For me,
I want to elaborate on the worthiness too. It's interesting because we're all here on earth, right? So obviously we're all worthy, but yet still we have that voice. That's what I put for my response as well. Well, is that voice pops up when I come into limits, and it's just like, you need to know that you're worthy for everything that you want. And I think with a lot of us like dreaming bigger and things like that, that voice is going to pop up. And I think it seems to be natural right now in the human conscious program, society program. And that's what we want to do, is we want to break those barriers and just elevate out of that. So if you're feeling that way, Will, I'm feeling that way too. And I think it's natural. And it's just important for us to reflect back that like, we're all here. So obviously we're worthy. Everyone's worthy.
Yeah, we are God's love. You know, we are all made of love. And so we can't let the illusion of fear get in the way when we can manifest, like Christine says, we can manifest anything we want at any point, any time period in our life. So we have to let go of that fear continuously. It's a practice, and move into love.
And one more thing we will do with that pain point is we're going to look at the emotional scale, and you will identify where on the scale this pain point is. And then instead of trying to jump from there all the way up to joy in one step, that would be like standing at the base camp of a mountain and trying to jump to the summit in one step, right? That would never work. You have to take it one step at a time, climbing the scale. If you didn't write the thing you'd like to manifest, you can do that now. I see some of you already did it. That's thank you for writing in the chat.
Let me jump in and share my pain point right now. I had this amazing soul reading with Aria 2 weeks ago, and it was amazing to just have her sharing what I wasn't able to verbalize. And it's about really allowing myself to be in this 3D reality, because I am so far away from this earthly experience right now. I'm really full of light, and I don't need anything physical to be happy at this moment of time, but it's going this step back and allow also the 3D reality to take place and to enjoy it and to earn money in this world and to gain things I want to have, to allow myself this step back and to be in this physical reality. That's my biggest experience right now. But I can feel every one of you, because I've been there, where feeling worthy and feeling good enough was the first stepping stone for me. And after clearing that out, it was like, okay, I don't need anything. So, all right. But it's really, the journey is going on. It's not like, okay, now I'm feeling worthy. Now I'm good enough. Now I can have everything that I want. Like, come. And then you have this next evolution, development step. And again and again, that this is all part of the journey, and to love the journey and to allow yourself to dive deep in every single step of the journey. That's really a game changer.
Yeah, and you never really finish this journey. That's important to mention. You go through life and you go through these 5 steps that we will cover. And on step 1, you experience contrast, which makes you ask for more. So going through life, you clarify your desires more and more. We've done a lot of this in the Lifebook process. So we're already quite far in the clarification process, but there will still be new desires. And the thing is, as your desires grow, your beliefs have to keep up with them. If they don't, they will stay behind, and they will just grow. And now the distance is too big. And that's when you end up feeling bad. Okay. Now I'm going to jump into the slides. Thank you for sharing, everyone who wrote in the chat. That's really good. If you didn't share, that's okay too, as long as you began the thought process of thinking about these answers for yourself. Okay. I'll start sharing my screen. Just give it a moment. Usually takes a few seconds. Bam, bam, bam. You can give me a thumbs up if you see it.
Good to go.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. Hicks mainly. 2 parts, like I said. Understand law of attraction and apply this understanding to manifest your life vision. We did an introduction already. These are just our names. And the law of attraction really is like attracts like. That's the main thing here. And you will see that from the scale, the emotional scale, which we will go through, you will be attracting. I can even just show you the scale right now. I have to press into it. This is the scale. You will be attracting based on where you are. You can focus on the left side of the screen. This one is more about processes you can use, which process is most productive given which emotional state you find yourself in. And we really are, I'm going to jump a bit back and forth between the slides. I'm going to jump to this one right now, because the way we as beings work is that we are transmitters and receivers of vibration. Primarily, we are tuning ourselves just like this radio dial, really old stuff. We're not like old in that sense, but we have this tuner. We have this tuner in a way that we can tune our vibration to either match our desires, or we could also tune it to a place of feeling bad, where we disconnect from our inner being and our higher self and our life vision, and thus feel bad. Now, feeling bad doesn't happen just like that. It's a momentum thing. And momentum works in the sense, like a metaphor that Abraham Hicks often uses is that you have a car at the top of a hill and you take off all the brakes, you walk outside of the car and you nudge it. It's beginning to roll. And if you're quick, you can jump in front of it and stop it. But if you wait for too long, it's going to have too much speed and it's going to be way too hard to stop it. This is what happens when, and I like this picture too, the one with the spirals going up and down, illustrating really well that there's a momentum aspect to the emotional scale. So good is up here and the feeling bad is down here. When you're around here in the middle, between 7 and 8, you don't have that much momentum going. This is what happens right after you wake up. That's why they recommend that you meditate right after waking up. And the longer you stay in either momentum, either it's a positive or a negative momentum, you will begin activating the law of attraction. So first and foremost, you will be attracting thoughts of a similar vibrational nature. So which vibration are you on? You can know that by the way you feel, because your emotions are telling you where you're vibrating, and thus what you're sending out, and thus what you will receive by the law of attraction. That's really how it works. And the longer, let's say, the longer you stay at optimism, the more momentum you will gather, and you will begin attracting thoughts after a certain amount of time that will be of a similar nature. And you will have more thoughts of optimism. And eventually, if you stay there long enough, you will begin moving up the scale, and the manifestation process will be stronger and stronger. And things will start showing up in your experience that are matching which level you are on. Same thing going the way down. You could be like way, way, way down. And the reason why it's so good to know about the scale is if you don't have the scale, it's very similar to being out in the wilderness. It's completely dark. You see nothing. Let's say you're going to climb a mountain, but it's completely dark. You don't see anything. You don't have a light. You don't have a map. You don't know where you are. You don't have a phone to check your bearing, your location. You don't know where you are. But I mean, most people know that joy feels better than unhappiness or depression, and that love feels better than hate, right? So we have a general sense of what feels good and what feels bad, of course. But if we look at the scale, we can go more specific, and we can understand the steps we need to take to move up the scale. And one thing that is good to mention is that, just as with a metaphor with a car, you might not want to try to think your way out of let's say, fear or grief. This can be too strong of a momentum to think your way out of. So you might just need to give it a rest and go for a walk or take a nap and take a break so that you're not thinking about it anymore. It's not in the sense of escapism, but in a sense of letting your vibration lift again. And Abraham is talking about meditation so much. And the reason why this is such a good practice is because when you're quiet in your mind, you are neutralizing your vibration, and it's aligning more and more with the vibration of your inner being, which is your higher self, which is always on that vibration of your life vision. So do you guys want to add to anything of this? I have a few more slides here. We can go deeper into the steps, but do you want to add anything to the scale or what I said so far before I go any further?
Yes, I'll say one thing. This is exciting, everyone, because it puts us in power. We don't have to feel like we're ever victim to circumstance or, bad things start happening, like you're stuck there. You can always tune your vibration, tune your emotion, and bring yourself into alignment. That's always available to all of us. And depending on where you are, you can get there easier. So like if you're like in big time fear mode or doubt, jealousy, don't expect to all of a sudden be in overwhelming joy. You just want to tune yourself a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. And the cool thing about our mind and emotions is that they tune themselves at a faster speed than like the physical body. So like I've noticed in myself that in a period of a few weeks to 2 months, you can completely renew what's going on in your mental emotional space overall. So it really moves quickly. Energy moves fast. So you never have to feel stuck in any type of situation or any type of emotion that you don't like. You can always tune yourself. And it's just a matter of practice. And that's true freedom, I believe. So once you can do that, you can do pretty much anything.
Yeah, I would add on top of that, that along with what William said, this scale really helps us, and the way that it helps us is, we have feminine energy and masculine energy in this universe, and we all have both of those within inside of us. And here we can look at the feminine energy as the emotional states. And I think the way but if we don't have a direction in which we want to choose and put our emotional states towards our life vision, towards feeling good, towards what, love, what we all want in this life. If we don't have that direction, then sometimes we can get lost with fluctuating too much and going up and down. So I think this scale really brings a more masculine nature of direction to help our feminine, energy and emotions be attuned towards a joyful state, towards a loving state, towards our, like Anna said, our most natural state. So the balance of that feminine energy here with the direction of the masculine energy really helps us manifest these powerful emotional states and whatever things we want to manifest in our life.
Yeah, that's amazing. And we talk about energy here, right? So that's the basis of the teaching of the law of attraction. We are energetic beings. We are souls in a human body. So we are much more than we can feel and touch, right? So we start to see our emotion, our energy in motion, like what it is, a river energy that is flowing through us. And I know the words good and bad in this context, but I love the words high vibration and low vibration more, because we start to see the gift in every kind of emotion. It's not like, oh, I'm doubting a lot, or I'm worrying a lot and this is bad and I don't feel like this. More like, oh, all right, I worry about things like, could go wrong. So what is the fear behind that? What is this emotion want to tell me? And you start to have a relationship with all these kinds of emotions. And this is when the magic starts to happen, because you're not like, oh, I don't want to feel like this, and I'm like pushing the emotion away. I'm opening up and I allow the emotion to flow through me, and then I can have a look at the scale and just, all right, oh, I'm here. So what is this emotion wants to tell me, and what is the higher step and the higher step? And this is starting to go automatically when I allow the feeling, when I am not working against the emotion. And this is really when the emotional scale starts to go up and up and up. And this is also momentum. When we allow, when we go in this feeling of, okay, this is interesting. I feel this emotion in that situation or in this relationship. So what is the message here? What is the gift? And then it's like, all right, interesting. And then I can go up and up and up. And a lot of people don't experience this like spiral, because they are, oh, I don't want to feel that. I suppress this emotion, and then they go down and down and down, right? So that's my experience of these two kinds of spirals that we have.
Yeah, beautiful shares. Thank you, guys. We got a question. Yeah, you definitely have to go step by step. And I can give an example, like let's take with the unworthiness part. If you're down at 21 on unworthiness, you would feel better if you felt anger. So how can you look at feeling angry about that instead of feeling unworthy, just unworthy? So that's one thing that makes just something click for me, that you can walk up this scale in that sense, and that you could reach for anger from the place of unworthiness, or jealousy. That would be one step above, but just reaching for something that is within range of where you are. That's the main thing. So feeling better. And it's the power of satisfaction, because you're moving up towards appreciation. You're moving up towards joy, freedom, love. It's the power of these emotions and their power of manifestation. You can manifest so well in these emotions. And mind you, this scale is not just about, so you have an emotional set point range where you will predominantly be feeling based on the practiced thought patterns you're in. And Abraham says that a belief is just a thought you continue to think. So beliefs are just practiced thoughts that have momentum, pretty much. But if you stop thinking that thought forevermore, it would no longer be active in your vibration. So that's worth noting. And this scale is not just in terms of your main emotional set point range. You can think of it in terms of the categories of your life in Lifebook, or a specific subject. You're going to be in a certain range on this subject or in this category. And what we want you to do here is to start looking at, okay, where are you on this subject? And how can you move up the scale to move into a positive momentum? Let's say maybe you're doing really good in some categories and you're way up on enthusiasm and passion, but maybe there's some categories that you have ended up down here on the bad feeling side, on the low vibrational side, which Christine would say. And from there, you can look at it, you can be honest about it, and you can start moving up. I'm going to go into the 5 steps, give you a bit of an overview of what the 5 steps are really all about, which is really the process of creation and pretty much just how life is unfolding. And you can put everything within either step 1 or step 3. And then the other steps are more about elaboration. So step 2 is not really a step we do. This is more about the universe creating a vibrational reality of what we're asking for. So step 1 is the one with contrast. We mentioned this already. Contrast is you experience the good and the bad. And maybe you're in a moment where you're feeling bad. Well, now you're launching rockets of desire, which Abraham says. You're sending out these rockets about wanting an improvement. And as you're doing this, your higher self, your inner being, is creating a vibrational reality to match that desire. What you need to do now is to get yourself out of that place of feeling bad and align yourself with the vibration of that already created reality in the vibrational reality. They call it the vortex, where all of your desires are created. Now, that's step 3, being in the receptive mode. And you can think of it as, what are you under the influence of? It's really about which level on the scale you're on based on how you're feeling. So if I was speaking from a place of fear, if I was really fearful, I would be using completely different words, and I would be manifesting a completely different outcome here. So these are some things worth noting. Like, let's say if you're angry and you go out driving, that's a bad idea. just an example, right? So then you want to be under the influence of positive emotions on a day-to-day basis and make that the predominant state you're in. Of course, it takes practice, but it's kind of like learning to use this scale. Just a silly thing I come to think about. It's not really silly because everyone can relate to it, but you would never meet. It's kind of like learning to walk. And you would never meet a person who is like 80 years old and they're just sitting in a chair and they sat in a chair their entire life because they never learned to walk. Because as a baby, they tried to walk and then they fell down a few times. And then after falling down a few times, they just concluded, hey, this walking thing is not for me. So they just remained sitting down for the rest of their life. No baby would ever do that. So if you can go into this process, realizing that, yeah, you're learning to walk again, if this is new to you. And you are definitely going to stumble. You're definitely going to fall a few times and you're going to fall back into the step 1. But that's okay. That's okay. Because it's a process of learning to walk and gaining your balance with this. You got to gain your balance with this. And step 1, then you ask. Step 2, it is given. The universe replies to your desire. Step 3, you have to align yourself with that desire. Step 4 is just being really good at step 3. Yes, even Abraham says it's a bit silly. It's a step in and of itself, but it is really necessary to be 2 steps because of pressing the importance of feeling good, of satisfaction. And we're going to share some practices as well about feeling good, our favorite practices to feel good and to move into these positive vibrations and positive emotions. And step 5 is you're back at step 1. You see, it says welcome contrast. You're back at step 1, but the difference is instead of being in a place of contrast and feeling bad about it, you realize that step one is a really important aspect and process of creation. So you realize, hey, this is actually okay. And you don't feel bad about feeling bad. You can actually feel good about feeling bad, which is kind of like a mind trick, you could say. Funny to use. Yeah. Question, I see a question. Well, step four is just step three, being really good at step three. You're mostly feeling good. You're mostly in that state of feeling good. You don't fall out of it so easily. It's just like meditation is, I think 3 of us wrote meditation as our favorite practice. And the reason why meditation is so good, especially first thing in the morning, is because you realize the momentum early. It's like that car, you notice the signs early. Hey, I'm actually beginning to move in a certain direction here. And you notice, hey, this thought, where would it take me? Would it take me up the scale? Or would it take me down the scale? And you catch it early. That's the thing. You jump out in front of the car before it gets too much speed. So there was another question. We don't know. Okay. Yeah, that was one we already answered. Going through the 5 steps. I mean, that could be like something happens. Like for me, I mentioned to you guys before the participants came on, to Eric, Christine, and Claudia. I had my we're dating. We're pretty much together, but we have a bit of a distance between us. This woman, me and her, she lives in Switzerland, but she's been working here. And she left like last Tuesday, and I crashed into a tree while splitboarding, like serious step 1 stuff, right? Really, really lame stuff. But then when that happened, I got into a place of feeling bad. And it just illustrated like how bad it would have to be for me to feel bad nowadays. I mean, small things don't really nudge me off balance. And then when you're doing that, you're sending out these rockets of desire of wanting an improvement. So I want an improvement. I want to be able to walk properly again, right? Not walk with pain and not feel this like pain about Joelle leaving, right? And I don't get to see her in 2 months, like terrible, right? Yeah. And then you're sending out these rockets of desire, and the universe is replying to that, responding to that, creating that reality in your vortex, in your vibrational reality of you getting that improvement. And then on step 3, you have to move into feeling good. You have to align yourself vibrationally, tuning yourself with your thoughts to the emotion of already having received what you want. So that's, and step 4 then is just doing that consistently. And step 5 would just be if you fall back into feeling bad, but now you're feeling good about feeling bad because you know that it's part of the whole journey. It's part of the whole process. You can't go through life and never feel bad. That would, I mean, what kind of life would that be? You'd have to move into like those building off the grid type of people who move where nobody lives and nothing ever happens there. Like there's not even a plane flying over you. That wouldn't be a good way to live. I think it's good to expose yourself to contrast. This is good. Would you guys like to add something?
Yeah, I would like to take a step back and just give this exploration that we have 3 steps of manifestation, 3 steps of sending out vibrations. So yes, we are vibrational being, we are energy. But the question is, how do we manifest in our 3D reality? We have these 3 steps. The first is our thought level. So we think, and every thought has a vibration, and it's send it out to the universe, and the universe responds to that thought. Next level is our emotions. So we think about the manifestation we want to have, and we feel it. We feel like, wow, this is my reality. I'm so grateful. I'm so honored. I'm so happy. And this emotion has also a vibration, and it's send it out into the universe, and the universe responds always. And the third step is action. We start acting like this thought, this emotion, this manifested dream is our reality. What am I doing when I have this crazy, amazing life. So how do I show up in the world? How am I feeling? What am I doing? So all these 3 steps are responsible for the frequency we are sending out. And this frequency works like a magnet because we magnetize, or we draw to us what we show and what we give to the universe. This is how it works, right? This is the energy flow. And when it comes to step 4, because of the question, for me in my job as a hypnotherapist, it's like going deep where we started to think in a certain way and change the conditioning there. So when we had the experience in our childhood that we are not lovable, that we are not worthy of our dreams, or that it's not available to us to have this amazing life, then we really need to uncondition from that thinking, because it's way easier to choose what we want to think and to choose what we want to feel when the situation is easy. But when we are surrounded by triggers or difficult situation, then from the subconscious mind we start to allow this old conditioned feeling of not worthiness, of not being good enough, right? And when we change the conditioning, when we really reprogram our subconscious mind, then old triggers are not triggering us anymore. And so our thinking and feeling and acting process is going on and on in the way we really want it to be. So start by doing what you want to do, thinking what you want to think, and feeling what you want to feel, and decondition yourself from your old patterns to really be free, to choose what you want to think, feel, and how you want to act.
Beautiful. And I can say, just when you're in step 3, that's when you're receiving impulses to move, to be at the right place at the right time. So you're feeling good, and now you're receiving impulses for action. And that's why I'm saying, what are you under the influence of? Are you under the influence of joy, or are you under the influence of a negative emotion? And not sabotaging our manifestation, right? It's good you said that, Anna, because it's really about releasing resistance. You're in the place of allowing your desires to come to you, and for you to be in the receptive mode of receiving the impulses to put you at the right place at the right time, so that you meet the right people, so that you are at the right place at the right time, really. Maybe Eric, Claudia, do you want to share something on this? Claudia, you made a pretty good manifestation recently. Maybe you want to share that. And I think Eric wants to say something as well.
Claudia, you have to unmute yourself.
Hey, can we hear me? Okay, awesome. I thought it automatically went. Okay, so just overall, one thing to think about when I'm in this situation and I catch myself cringing up, I'm like, oh my gosh, why isn't this manifestation here yet? Just with anything, I always remind myself, okay, Claudia, chill out, take a few deep breaths, feeling good. That way it can flow. Esther Hicks is always talking about that the most important thing is first adjusting your vibration. That's why we were sharing the vibrational scale with you all. So, because if you're really in a good feeling, that's when you're in the allowing state. So what I did for basically, I manifested my ultimate career dream coming true, to become a singer, to become an international singer. And I was about as far from that as possible. I was in my college dorm room a few years ago, in my apartment, just singing with the door closed, studying business, having nothing to do with music, having no funds or resources to make music happen whatsoever. My life was being pushed in completely the opposite direction. And like, I wouldn't even sing in front of my roommates, which is funny because now I could be in Times Square in my pajamas with my eyes half open, and sing in front of hundreds of people. It would be indifferent to me. That's how much we can change in a few years. So I was like completely about as far away from that dream as possible. And one day I was like, I have to do something about this. Like, I always wanted to be a singer. Like, that's what I came on earth to do. I had nothing to do with it. I don't even know how that's possible, but if I don't do something, I'm never even going to sing again. So I took one aligned step, just finding a guitar player and singing with him. Like, that's it. And then over a period of 6 years, now looking back, I really manifested every single step leading up to starting Lifebook, and then taking the conscious steps of manifesting to where I turned it into launching a career, launching my first international music project. My next with Tony T, who's a famous singer from Rio. His band is having almost 3 million Spotify listens a month. And he's just a musical genius. And I always wanted to sing with him. I listened to his music back in college and beyond. And he's like a celebrity in my family and I's houses because we always have listened to his music for years. So it's like wild to be working with him. I would have never thought this was possible if it wasn't for knowing these principles and then applying Lifebook in my daily life. And anyone that I talked to, they said they would have given up the first try, the second try to make music and send it to him. But I just kept going because I knew these principles. And so now I have my first international music project. My next step is I'm hitting the radios worldwide to put my music all around the world as much as I can. And I'm going to apply these principles. So this is like this whole music project for me is very much, and I don't share this with most people, but I share this in this setting because we're talking about manifestation because I'm still working on this. But even Tony was like, okay, well, for the next steps, you just need to manifest it. Like, you manifested me, you just have to keep manifesting it. So I'm really, this whole music journey for me is like my own test, if you will, and my like creative ability as like a creator and the ability to manifest what I want. So it's going to be very interesting for me over the next 3 years to see, like in each step of the music, how much I accomplish, because it's going to be directly correlative to my belief system. So where I'm at, like with this step, with like manifesting the radio, oh, thanks, Eric. Manifesting, worldwide radio play, it's going to be directly correlating to where my belief system is, because there's people in my face telling me, oh my gosh, all the other local singers are trying to, get their music on the radio. It's super hard. People saying this, but I know these principles. Thank you so much. Yeah. I'm going for that Billboard #1. I know if I just keep going over the next 10 years, it can't not happen because that's the way that these principles work. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next few months unfold, to see how many radio stations, countries I can get my music into, how all these things work out, because and if something's not working, I have to go back and adjust my belief system. So I will definitely share with you guys over the next few months, years, how things are going. And this is definitely something that that I keep private, because most people don't understand this stuff, and they would be like, they'd try to sabotage it with their limiting beliefs because they don't think they can do it. So I think a lot of this stuff, it's important too, if you're really working on something, to talk to close, trusted people about it, because you don't want everyone's energy in it, because there's people who don't understand how this works, and we don't want them messing it up for us while we're still learning. But yeah, it really works from my experience. And obviously looking at John and Missy, who said that they have achieved like every earthly desire, and now it's all about spiritual fulfillment. Like, that's amazing. That's where I want to be when I'm in their stage of life. They're so cool. So yeah, I hope hearing about my manifestation with music helped, and I look forward to sharing with you all over the next few years too, like how far I go, because I'm basically manifesting my international music career now and forever. But also sharing, if when I mess up or make a mistake or fail, and seeing how my belief system needs to be switched, and then seeing how I can move forward by just shifting my belief and then continuing to manifest. So it's a process of learning and growing, most definitely.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Eric, do you have a share?
Yeah. I think to kind of transition to what I'm going to say, it is a process. And I want to go back to like when I started working on the law of attraction. And this can be for people who are just beginning, or maybe you're a little more evolved, or maybe you're just starting out. with this law of attraction and trying to implement it into your life. So I can take it back to my beginning when I watched The Secret. I don't know if who's seen that movie, but I was 17 years old and I watched The Secret, and I started to understand these spiritual laws and the law of attraction. And for me as a beginner, what I did was I was so fascinated by it. And if you're fascinated by it, you know you're doing the right thing. So I knew I was in the right place. And so what I did first as a beginner, for any of you, you guys can start this. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to have all the steps down. What I did was I just wrote down 3 things that I wanted to manifest in my life. And at that point in time, I was focused on athletics. That was my life. And it was, okay, first one was, I played baseball for a long time. So it was be on Team Colorado. So the all Colorado team, which is the best 25 players in the state of Colorado in the United States. And I wanted to make that team. I was 17 years old. The second one was play Division I baseball, which is the highest level of collegiate university baseball that you can play, and get a scholarship to do that. The third one was play professional baseball. I wrote this all when I was 17. And after watching The Law of Attraction, The Secret. And what I did was I put that by my bed every night. And I would just, it's basically like a prayer. You can start with a prayer. It doesn't have to be something super complicated, but I started with this prayer every night. And I just read right before I went to bed. I just pulled stuff off of the sticky note that had the 3 goals because I didn't want anybody else looking at it. And I looked at the sticky note and I was like, okay, I want to play for Team Colorado. I want to be a Division I athlete. I want to be a professional athlete. I can do this every single night. Every single time I looked at the moon, every single time I had a birthday, every single time I looked up at the sky, it was, God, I want to be a professional athlete. It was, universe, I want to be a professional athlete. And I can tell you that it all happened because of that manifestation. And so these things started to happen for me. So I just started to read it. That's all I did, just the beginning part. I don't know anything about energy. I don't know anything about positive vibration, raising my vibration. I don't know anything about that. But I just started reading it. And all of a sudden, I just started to see the law of attraction unfold. And I saw all of a sudden, I was playing really well in the middle of the summer, and I got called in, and I went to a tryout for the team, all Team Colorado. I got called to this tryout. I ended up hitting a couple home runs, and I got picked. And I was like, oh my God, this is step number 1. And so next thing was I went down and I played on Team Colorado. And as I was playing on Team Colorado, I did well there. And I was like, okay, my next thing is like Division I want to play Division I. And if you know anything about that level, it's pretty difficult to get into in college here in the United States, especially getting a scholarship. And at that point, I was in my senior year of high school, and I didn't have anybody giving me a scholarship yet. I just had the Division II school, and that was it. So anyway, long story short, going into my spring of my senior year, I got a call. My friend was going to a Division I college. All of a sudden, the universe aligned, and they said, we want you to come here too. And it was like, oh my God, I just started to see this thing unfold. And then I had 4 years of college. I played at 3 Division I schools, actually. And I played that, but I knew I would always pray. I wanted to play professional. I wanted to be a professional athlete. And so the next step was professional athlete. And I would continuously pray and focus on that without knowing, a ton about the energy again. And so I eventually wasn't happening really. And I actually had a junior year and senior year of college that wasn't great. And I was disappointed. But I kept going and I kept praying for it and manifesting it. And then I got to train with a former professional athlete, and he gave me the training, got signed. And long story short, I finally made it happen after 5 years of college and 1 year after college of trying to make this happen. And it's because I was focused on what I wanted. I was focused on the manifestation. This is what I want. There's no plan B. It distracts from plan A. So guys, that's something you can take in, is like, okay, my life vision is what I want, period. That's it. There's no plan B. This is what I'm doing, universe. Thank you. Right? And so when we have that highlighting the beginner mind, we don't, you can start from just with a prayer and just focusing on your life vision and what you want and reading it. And then it can come true. It might not be in 1 year or 2 years, but it might be in 6, might be in 7, might be in 10, right? But you can start with that as a beginner, and then you can manifest anything as long as you stick to it. Anything you can manifest. Doesn't matter what age you're at. It doesn't matter masculine, you're a male, you're a female, doesn't matter. You can manifest anything, and you must have that belief, and then you must just take the steps and pray and visualize every single day towards that life vision. That's what I have to share.
Woo! We're talking wins here. Big shares. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you guys for sharing that. We're gonna do a Q&A after a while, but we should also share our favorite practices. And I mean, I can just say real quick, me, myself, coming from a place of being really low in my life. I mean, before I started learning about these things and Lifebook and being deliberate about personal development, I just had no idea what I wanted. And I mean, this is way back, but my life was just a living mess, seriously. And just way, way, way down that scale. And I got so far down, I just hit this rock bottom moment that to me, it was just like, I gotta do something, you know? I was just living so unconsciously that I had to have this punch in my face like that. Oh, damn, I hit the bottom, you know? And to me, it was really, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this properly. I mean, I had this moment like, when you have so much resistance, you just want to release it all at once, you know? But that to me was not an option, because I knew I can go for it. You know, I can commit myself to creating a good life, an extraordinary life. And so I went in for it, and I learned these principles. And the reason why I'm so passionate about sharing this with all of you is because it made such a difference in my life, in moving me up that scale. And it's such a big power in learning this scale, learning these principles, learning about momentum, learning about the 5 steps, learning about how you can tune your vibration by tuning your thoughts, being deliberate about the thoughts you think, which thought feels better from where you are right now. You gotta be deliberate about this. You gotta bring a high level of awareness and consciousness into your life. Where are you vibrating? You gotta look at the scale. Is it in alignment with the desires that you have? These are big questions, and we want you to bring this awareness into your life and use this understanding to guide you in your life. It's called the emotional guidance scale for a reason. It's there to guide you to better feeling thoughts. If you're thinking thoughts that are not in alignment with what is true to who you really are, you feel bad. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to jump into the last slides, where we're going to talk briefly about our 3 favorite practices. Each of us has 3 practices. I can show 2 ways to know is. 1, by how to manifest it. Look at what you're in the process of creating more of. And this can be like different too again. Where are you on the scale, and how can you move up that? So we don't have the time to go through all of these processes, but you can definitely learn more about this. I mean, you can reach out to us after this call and we can go deeper with you. And you can also study Abraham Hicks. There's a lot of free content on YouTube. There's a lot of free content on Audible. They add to it every day. I would definitely dive deeper if you think this is interesting and you want to learn more. The last slide we have, I'm just going to check the chat if there was any questions that we can tackle. Yeah, it was Eric, right? Okay. Yeah, I can say my three, and then we can just go as if we're reading, like William, and then Eric, then Claudia, and then Christine. You can go last. These are our three favorite practices. I have a lot of practices that I like to use in this, but I put the three ones I use a lot, and I would say which are my favorite practices. First one is awareness, letting go. You can definitely learn more about this on either the podcast me and Eric did, and also so the Full Potential Living podcast. Me and Eric did an episode. Claudia and Eric also did an episode. So definitely check that out if you want to dive deeper in that. And there's another scale there as well, a calibrated levels of consciousness scale that you can use that is similar to this emotional guidance scale. Really helpful as well. It's good to compare the two and find what you resonate most with. I find that I actually use the scale there more than this emotional guidance scale. But awareness, becoming aware of what you want and what's holding you back. Really key here. The second one is meditation. And you're not going into, yeah, there you go, letting go. I saw you put up the book, Eric. Yeah, so releasing resistance. It's really about releasing resistance, the resistance you have. You can learn more about that in the book, Letting Go as well, by David Hawkins, or the event me and Eric did earlier in, it was called Letting Go of Who You've Been to Become Who You Want to Be. That was in the character month. And the meditation, I don't go into meditation with the intention of like, oh, I'm going to release resistance. Oh, I'm going to get this thought to go away. I don't do it like that. I just go into it and just focus on, I mean, you can do it right now. Just if we can just sink into the quiet that is in between the words. What do you hear? Just pay attention. The meditation that Abraham Hicks teaches is one where you sit down and you just focus on a sound. And you could put a fan in front of yourself, you can put some music on, and you just focus on the sound. And as you're doing this, you're lowering your not your vibration, but your thoughts. You're quieting your mind. And as you quiet your mind, your vibration will rise. And for me, being in nature is the best meditation, because I'm just focusing on the next step and the next step, and I'm looking around me, and it's such a mindfulness experience where you're just so immersed in your senses. Really beautiful. And then last one is which thought feels better. That is really just reaching for the next better feeling thought from where you are. Don't try to jump from hate to love or depression to joy, but you're moving up the scale by tuning your thoughts. And as I said, worth mentioning, if you're really far down, this might not work that well. And that's again about which process is best to use given which emotional state you're at. So if you're really far down, it might be better to just go for a nap, take a nap, or go for a walk, being in nature, right? I would rather be in nature than go for a walk or take a nap. But I can definitely use that process of which thought feels better if I'm feeling a little bit off. Then I can tune it upwards. Okay, Eric, do you want to go?
Yeah, I would say the three practices for me that are most powerful are, number one, the visualization. So something I used since I was 17, like I mentioned, in just talking about as an example, in my athletic career before games, I would visualize, okay, how do I want this game to go? How can I succeed? What does it look like? What would it look like if I hit a home run? What would that look like in my mind? What would it feel like, right? What would it look like to hit the ball in the gap, right? Hit a double, triple for those of you that know baseball. What would that feel like? What would it feel like for you to hit a home run in your life, right? That life vision, what does that feel like, right? So you're visualizing that, you're practicing. It's a practice, it's a skill to visualize. You have to go, okay, what does that look like? You have to ask yourself these questions. What does it look like if I create my life vision, right? What does it feel like when I'm in my life vision, right? You have to feel it, right? So the visualization is a skill and it helps us feel what we want to manifest, right? That's my powerful tool one. Number two is meditation, like William said. And obviously a lot of people, because it detaches me from resistance, because it detaches me from trying too hard, right? From visualizing too much, because I've gotten in that space before where I'm creating my own resistance. Like Anna said, I'm sabotaging my own manifestation because I am trying too hard. I really want this to become true. I really want to be a professional athlete. Come on, hold on. You have to also let go and allow that to come, right? So the meditation will help me do that part. Detach, let it come, right? Like John says, he works. And then at 5 o'clock, he's done. He lets go. Let the universe catch up. Let the universe do the rest. Let go, right? Allow. Meditation. Number three, subconscious training. An example of that for me is when I wake up, first thing I do when my feet hit the floor is going to be saying a positive every single morning, a positive thing. Okay, make it great. Make it great. Right when my feet hit the floor, when I stand up, make it great. Make it a great day. Make it a great day. Right? That's the point in time that's really important to train your subconscious right when you wake up, because you're still in that state. You can influence it more, right? And then I'll get up and I'll go walk, and I'm still in this sleepy, tired place. I'm going to get my coffee downstairs, and I'm like, okay, I'm just walking. And I live in an apartment building right now, so it's kind of a far walk to go get my coffee. So I have a long walk, but during that time, I'm able to subconsciously train. So I'm able to say, okay, I live in abundance. Even if I'm really tired and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm like, okay, I live in abundance. I live in abundance. I live in abundance. I live in abundance. I am pure love. I am pure love. I am pure love. I am pure love, right? Repeat, repeat, repeat. So that's an example of subconscious training, affirmations, when you're in that place of just waking up, or maybe you're going to sleep. Or it can be during the day, but those two spots are when you're most connected to your subconscious. So that would be the three most powerful tools for me.
Awesome. Okay, I believe I'm next. All right, so
Yes.
my
Go ahead, Claudia.
tools.
Unmute yourself, Claudia.
Okay, there we go. I thought I pressed it, but I guess it didn't take it. All right, so I have many tools. I had to narrow it down to my top three. So these are powerful tools. Visualization, again, for me. I personally, for visualization, of course, I do Lifebook. I love to do like guided visualizations. For example, Wesley Virgin guided meditation on YouTube is one that I like to play during lunch, or when I'm getting ready for events, or when I'm driving around, just to put myself in my 5-year life vision, as if I'm already living as that singer, as that self-actualized woman, as that person who lives in the house, has the family that I want, all of these things. So I do not work for Wesley Virgin, so this is not a advertisement. I just love to use his 30-minute guided visualization, because has a very, very good one. So you can just search that on YouTube. That's the visualization that I like to do the most. Meditation as well for me. When you bring your mind into your heart, that's when the mind quiets down. And I'm obsessed with just living from my heart space as much as I can, and just really learning how to magnify that and like become that over the next few years is really what I'm after, even more so, than building the adventure, although they play on each other, because that just feels so good. And I know that anytime if the mind gets into some, mind attack, as like spiritual people like that I listen to talk about, then you can always come back into your heart and rebalance it. So that's why meditation is really key for me. And I do feel like being in that meditative heart space also helps heal the body, because it brings you in a higher vibration. So your cells are vibrating higher. And then I love to have with me a gratitude and affirmation journal. So this is it for me personally. I will put affirmations on one side, gratitude on the other, and then I also write my 2022 life vision. And I literally bring this with me pretty much everywhere. Like I'll bring it to, I always have it with me at work, or when I'm practicing music, or when I go out to eat, I have it with me, because people talk about all kinds of things. And I just like to keep my mind tuned to where I want it tuned to. Wesley meditation. Whenever I pass the torch on, I'll look it up and I'll put the link into the chat to answer that question real quick, to Wesley's meditation. But I find this as an excellent resource. I am a woman, so definitely for women, highly recommend, men as well. But women are kind of more intuitive, sensitive to what's going on in the outer world. And like, I don't like to just be a receiver of whatever people are talking about or whatever people are listening to. I love to have something that's like physically with me so I can tune my vibration. That's helped me so much to release like any like anxiety that has to do with like, that gap, that spiritual gap between allowing my vision in to where I'm at. I love the journal. It's made a night and day difference in my life. So that is a huge tool that I recommend to empower each other. And there's so many tools. These, I think, would be my tops.
All right, guys. Then my favorite tools for elevating our vibration are yoga, because when we start to integrate our whole system, our body, our physical form, then it's way easier to vibrate on the whole level, on the scale that we want to be. So yoga is really a game changer for me when I feel like, I know what I want, and I want to feel like that, but I feel really like blockages in my physical form. Yoga helps. And also breath work in addition to yoga, when you start to work not only with your mind and your feelings, but also with your body. Really, really powerful. Also gratitude for me, it's a game changer. Every morning when I wake up, first thing, my eyes are still closed, I repeat 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I had a gratitude journey for 5 years, and now it's like my being. It's not like I need to write it down, or I need to integrate it in my routine, because I think about it all the time. So when I'm cooking meal, or when I am in nature, it's like a conditioned thought process. It's really, really powerful, because you start thinking in a different way. I start to ask myself, where's the gift in every single moment? And this question changes everything, because even in the difficult moments or in the challenges, you start for looking, where's the gift? Why is that happening? And what can I learn from it? What should I remember? And you really change the focus of the outer reality. And the most important thing for me is trust. Trust the process. Trust that everything's working out for you at the perfect time, perfect place. Trust that everything that you need is already within you, that the universe is working in your highest good, that life is for you, not against you, and that the challenges are there to prepare you for the next step. This kind of trust is so deeply rooted since I discovered that every challenge is there for you to regain your trust. That the trust is the game changer in every kind of manifestation. Trust in yourself, in your dreams. The sentence, this dream was rooted in you for a reason. was such a aha moment for me, because Claudia was speaking about her dream of being a musician. Eric, the dream of being in sports, and this is nothing for me. So I love to hear it, but I'm not sitting here and saying, yeah, music, let's go, Christine. This is next step. So not rooted in my soul. And that's for a reason, because I'm here to express myself in another reality, in another facet, in another dimension. And that's amazing, because all of our dreams are in our souls, in our hearts, to be expressed by us. And that's why we have everything we need in us. And then you have this trust, you know that you don't have to dream just randomly. And then you will see all the steps, all the emotional scales, all the things you know are nice, but you don't have to check the list. You just trust that the next step is the right step, and then the next step is the right step, So these are my favorite practices.
Wow, that's beautiful. Beautiful shares. And one practice I think probably all of us are doing, if you don't, then you definitely should, is reading your life vision every day. And this is a really good practice to align yourself to, so vibrationally aligning yourself to your life vision. By doing this, you're stepping into it. I actually wrote it in my own life vision that I'm already on the vibrational level of my life vision. I'm feeling it, I'm having it, I'm doing it, I'm being it, I'm stepping into it. And as I'm reading it, I'm visualizing myself already there. And you can do this. Eric, he has his own, he made a video, really cool. I got inspired by that. And I recorded it. I just spoke into my phone, and now I can listen to it. So I could even do it while I'm commuting, but ideally sitting down so I can focus more. And Claudia, she made this mind map. I have like this, I have a...
Real quick, William, somebody had asked me earlier, because I shared this Canva video on another workshop call. I think it was Burku. I think it's Burku. I hope that's how I say it. But he had asked, he was talking about this video that I shared. And so, yeah, so you guys can go to canva.com, which I know a lot of people, Anna had already, actually, I think she taught me how to do this, but you can create your own video about your life vision. So instead of reading your life book, what you're doing, instead of reading it every day, what you're doing is you just wake up and you press play, and there's music and there's pictures and there's videos of your life vision, and you're brainwashing yourself subconsciously to manifest your life vision by creating a Canva video. So check out Canva. You can do 30 days for free, but check out Canva if you're interested in that. So,
and I made Eric's video as well, and I think it's really, really nice. You guys, anything that you could do to get your senses into the visualization of your vision makes it more powerful in your brain. So doing the video or doing the guided meditation when you're okay, what am I smelling in this situation? What am I hearing? Really immerse yourself with all of your senses there, because it's going to help your mind visualize it and bring it into reality faster.
Mm. Oh yeah, thank you, Anna, for sharing. That's a good one. Maybe hear the ice cream truck rolling by here. I left the window open. It's so warm today. I'm sitting in a shorts. It looks really silly if I stand up. Good day, huh? The last slide, just some info about us. Yeah, Christine is already a coach on law of attraction, so you can reach out to her and get further help on this. Me and Eric also does coaching. That can be a call to action. we would definitely want to help you with this. I mean, I'm very passionate about sharing these things, and we don't want to leave any of you hanging. Like in the beginning, you shared a pain point. Either you wrote it down and shared it in a chat, or you at least began the thought process of going deeper into that to figure that out. And then you picked something from your life vision you want to accomplish. Now, we have given you some tools, just like giving you a torch or a headlight and a compass and a map and a GPS on your journey through the mountain to get to the top. And as you learn about these things, the dawn will come, right? It will get brighter and you will see more and it will be easier. And that's a really good belief to adopt. It's going to get easier as you go along. It doesn't get harder, it gets easier and it gets better. So that's really good. And we're here to help. You can reach out to us. You can write us on the Lifebook app, or if maybe if someone is watching this outside of it, then you can find us on Instagram, for instance. I have my Instagrams here. Eric has his. Claudia has her Instagram. I put in the web page to Claudia's band and for the Wellness Origin. And you can check out the web page to Christine as well. She has her own web page. Definitely worth checking out. So calls to action. You can reach out to one of us, write us. Let's do a chat. Let's schedule a call and we can dive deeper. We can look for further into the things you were talking about, the pain point and the thing you want to manifest and how you can use these principles and apply it. So we can guide you along the way. Like I said, there's a lot to this and we're condensing it into 1 hour. So we could make this way longer for sure, but we got to start wrapping it up soon. And yeah, what else? Another action call, like I said, start listening to Abraham Hicks, maybe The Secret, but Abraham Hicks is really good. That's my go-to for sure. And a lot of free content on YouTube, Audible, and so on. And one practice. Some of you wrote down already, but take one practice, either from the ones we shared or one that you would think would be a really good idea to integrate more into your life, a feel-good practice, not like instant gratification type of feel-good, but feel good in a sense of that it's moving you in a predictable way up the emotional scale. It's really helpful in lifting your vibration to a higher place. I'm gonna check the chat if there was any questions. Do you guys want to share anything before? Yeah,
Yes,
there you go. Instagram, yeah.
And guys, I wanted to say really quick too, if you're around the Indianapolis, Indiana area, my business is called Wellness Origin Spa. We're an organic spa and wellness center. So we have some really cool state-of-the-art services and products for helping you to bring your health and beauty, which we believe are so interconnected, right? The inner expression of health and the outer expression of health. We want to bring you from where you are, your individual place, to the next level. So that's the business that myself, my mom, and my stepdad own. We've had it for over a decade now here in Indianapolis, and we have like a stainless steel hyperbaric oxygen chamber. We have state-of-the-art spa services like laser lipo, lipocavitation, RF. We have some really, really cool facial procedures, and they're all non-invasive. So some really, really cool stuff that is perfect for anyone who wants to up-level mind, body, and spirit. And I also saw people in the chat writing about anti-aging. So, you know, my mom and I are all about being forever young. I'm 29. I don't want to share her age. She's forever young, but she's my mom. So we want to stay young, just like how beautiful John and Missy look. So if you're around the Indianapolis area, come say hi and come explore our spa and join our anti-aging, forever young, forever healthy community here.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. I hope I provided some value. That was my goal, to help others, to help you manifest what you desire and what's in your soul and in your heart. And yeah, for me, like I had mentioned, you can find me on full on Instagram, full_potential_living. That's my Instagram name. Would love to connect with anybody on there for coaching or just to connect. Would love to be friends and talk with you. Also, you can find my podcast, the Full Potential Living podcast, on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You can find it on most platforms. Please listen to those. William and I have one that you can see there down low. Claudia and I have one, and a lot more to come. Maybe Christine will be on my podcast. That would be really cool. But yeah, that's what I have. Thank you guys so much for listening. And I hope you got some value out of this and you can take action towards something that is meaningful for you.
Awesome. Do you have something to wrap up, Christine?
Beautiful soul. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. And for all of us, it's our main goal to help others find their inner light and create the life you really dream of, because the world is an amazing place and we are here to do that. That's the only goal, to be happy, to be proud of ourselves, to be our authentic selves, and to share our inner light with the world. So keep going, reach out for help. You don't have to go alone. So that's the learning that we all have, I guess. And we are so happy to have this community. Thank you so much, and keep dreaming, guys.
Keep dreaming, stay in that positive vibe, apply what you learned from today, and make your wildest dream come true. Step into that life vision, make it your reality. Let's go. Let's go. Full potential living. This is what we do at the end of our calls, our accountability calls, me, Eric, and Claudia. We do this thing. Bam, bring the hand in. We can do it all together right now. Everyone, bring the hand in.
Bring your hands in. Full potential on 3. 1. Full potential.
Full potential. Make your dreams come true.
Live your life vision.
Awesome. Thank you guys for being on.
Thank you guys.
All
Thank you,
right.
guys.
I'm gonna stop the recording. Stop sharing.
Yay. That was so much fun.